we are doing something a little different this week with the show. On the first one, we are going live on the official Facebook page, athleticgeek.com. Facebook.com/athleticgeek, but hopefully one day an athleticgeek.com might happen. If only I was popular enough to on Bashmania, that would have had to be made, but now I'm just not. But anyway, live on Facebook.com/athleticgeek, and then we're also, since apparently myself and Isaac uploading our commentaries on on cartoons was considered spam, and even though I won the appeal, I'm still banned from going live on Facebook, so we're taping the show also for the Facebook viewers. But on that, all that aside, welcome to the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, and I am joined this week once again by JC of the Deluxe Asterisks. And to, if you've never seen the show before, if you've never seen this particular wrestling talk show, YouTube show, whatever it is you want to call it, we're a different kind of show than some of the other ones out there in that we don't use insider terms. We use more basic terms when describing it. We talk in depth about wrestling, but at the end of the day, we talk more like to fans would rather than to insiders or to people within the wrestling business would, because as big of fans as we are of wrestling and as much as we enjoy talking about wrestling, at the end of the day, we're not wrestlers, we're not insiders, we're not in the business at all. We are just two marks. And JC, it's the road to Money in the Bank, which, some people say if the Royal Rumble is the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, then Money in the Bank is the beginning of the road to SummerSlam in this modern era. And we got, some stuff has happened, for lack of a better way of putting it. Qualifiers. On Raw, we had, the big one would be Finn Balor.
The big one would be Braun Strowman.
The big one would be Braun Strowman, but the big one because this was the main event.
Yes.
The big one, because by qualifying for Money in the Bank, Finn Balor, he defeated Sami Zayn. That was a triple threat match that also included Roman Reigns. So the reason I'm kind of referring to that was the big one is it means, at least as of today, you never know how it's going to change going forward, but Roman Reigns is not in Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, from the footage I saw, if there was some kind of thing with gender, unless they just want to use it as just complete, utter fuel for him and gender, someone could, rationalize, well, he got screwed over, Kurt Angle would be like, you get one more shot, but, I don't know if they'll do that or not.
Who knows?
But as of now, yes, on Raw, the two male qualifiers are Finn and Braun.
Yes, Braun Strowman is the literal sense of the big one. The downside is, once again, both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going down.
Speaking of, Owens went down about 3 times after being hit by the truck that was Braun Strowman.
Brutal.
Very. I couldn't help but think. You just basically just ran through him, but. You've seen almost any big wrestler do that, but it did make me think a little bit of Monty Brown, just a little bit.
Period.
But
shout out to Monty Brown.
But the female qualifier for Raw was Ember Moon.
Yeah, I'm happy that they're doing stuff with Ember Moon. Mm-hmm. I'm happy that she's getting used on the main roster. Mm-hmm. Part of me, when she first got called up, I was kind of like, are we maybe a little too soon? But then, I guess not, because they're using her well. At least so it seems. So, yeah, that's. We also had in tag team action. We had the
Bo and Axel against the Leader of Worlds.
The Leader of Worlds, and I have to admit, I'm digging Wyatt, and
they got a unique thing going there. I wasn't really sure about putting them together, and maybe I'm still not 100%. It's not bad,
right?
But and the Leader of Worlds is a good name, but But they got kind of unique thing going because I've seen like some promo stuff where they kind of almost got like, Matt's the light, Bray's the dark, and they kind of work together in that way. And they got kind of like a new combo finisher, which is almost hard. I mean, it is almost a combo finisher, but it really to me just seems kind of like Bray's doing Sister Abigail and Matt is there.
Yeah.
But that being said, they defeated Axel and Bo. So I guess I'm assuming that Axel and Bo didn't also have specialized T-shirts to present to.
No, but I really want the T-shirts from last week. I really do. No, I mean, I had some optimism going into this idea, but I think it's really good that they found a good suitable replacement for Jeff.
Yeah,
for him to go be a single star on SmackDown.
That's understandable. Yeah, and I mean. You got two very, out there characters, and you found a way to, put them together in a way, I guess, that works. So, I guess until I see it not working, I guess I can't be whatever about it. It seems to be working so far.
Yeah. Bobby Roode finally gets a win back on Elias. And... Oh boy, I mean, I don't really know what to say, because on one hand, with Bobby Roode, hey, he is doing something. Hey, he did just pick up a win.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are you complaining about? But on the flip side, it's just like, I feel like he's here where. If they were using him the way they did on NXT, he'd be here.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's still in the filling out process. Maybe. Which was weird to say considering he had a run on SmackDown and so on and so forth. But maybe it's just I feel like I'm regurgitating things that other people are saying. But when you have Bobby, who's almost kind of synonymous with being a bad guy, and then you kind of, and obviously in NXT, as much as he was the bad guy, you wouldn't have always known it because everyone was like, they were either cheering him or singing along with his theme.
Right.
I heard, because like I said, I've been consistently watching, but the whole thing about Shinsuke changing his music and all that, and that might be, one step in terms of him, like, not being someone that the fans are going to get behind on purpose. Maybe that's a direction that Bobby might have to go in at some point, is stop being this person that the fans are into as much. In terms of them, their support, you know, and cheering and so on.
But I mean, that's not all on.
Yeah, of course.
It's not all on Bobby.
He's working, with what he's been given.
So, I mean,
and I guess far be it from me to tell Bobby, like, hey, the fans are into this, but don't do it. Don't get in. Don't.
Right.
Because especially when he first debuted, it's like, well, you got something that works for you.
Right.
I mean, far from me to screw you over and tell you not to do it, but
yeah, it's just, and like I just said. I mean, this is gonna be. I probably should preface this at the beginning. This is gonna be kind of a harder episode for us to do because it's just kind of like stuff kind of happened, but there's not really much to say about it.
Yeah.
With everything, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that Raw and SmackDown were bad, and I mean, and you haven't seen Backlash. I was, and I'll go on a short little thoughts on Backlash at the end of the video. But things happened; they weren't bad, but there's really only one major talking point, which we'll get to when we start covering SmackDown. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot of, in-depth things to talk about this week. Nothing really, it's not a go-home show for a pay-per-view. I mean, we got things that are important. Money in the Bank qualifiers, that's pretty fucking important. but it's just kind of like, hey, they qualified.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, I mean, like, there was the thing that happened with gender interfering and costing Roman.
Right.
So, I mean, there is that's going on within that qualifier.
Right. But
And, you had, Seth retained the IC title against Mojo.
Yeah, and I guess, that was a pretty good match. Mojo looked really good in that match. I kind of like what they're doing. It seems with Rollins as the Intercontinental Champion, where it's kind of like he's almost like the anti-Lesnar in his reign.
Yeah, yeah.
Where he's always out defending it. He's there every week, putting it on the line.
He's not making animal noises.
Yeah. Except for we love you, Seth Rollins. You're one of my favorites. So haven't put that.
Okay, so wait. So if they got maybe, but they got if they got Matt and Bray together, and the leader of worlds, like maybe there can be a similar reconciliation coming together with Mojo and Seth, and they can be like Mojo Rollins or something like that, or I mean what who am I to deny people every kind of collaborative pun tag team that they can.
Well, I'm shutting the site down.
Axel and Bo don't have a name yet. Why can't they be like,
No. Axel needs to quit and be part of All In and join with Cody, and then he can be Axel Rhodes.
That works. Or
they can be Axel Rhodes.
Or he can keep the amount of money he's already making in WWE and keep teaming with Dallas, and he can go back to change his name to his previous gimmick, and they can be Michael Bogillicuddy.
I'd actually be on board with that one. Michael Bogillicuddy. Yep. I'm going to Michael Bogillicuddy cut my wrist after hearing that one.
That's unpleasant.
Yeah. So. Well, this episode's right. Anyway, still going back to the original point. Seth Rollins, and he's really, so far in the reign, he's really elevating, that their Intercontinental Championship, that you see behind me. I'm kind of thinking that, I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong, that by them maybe elevating the Intercontinental title that much, one, it looks good for the belt, it looks good for Rollins, it looks good for, everyone involved, but it kind of also makes me believe that at least on the Raw show, that Lesnar's going to be champion for really the long haul, because they're really building up that, maybe they're just building it up because, hey, why not build up the Intercontinental title? What's wrong with building it up? But it's just one of those, if he's kind of doing this with the Intercontinental, almost like an RVD.
The absence of the world title might not feel as heavy.
Right.
Yeah.
I could almost compare it to, and this may be too soon, I mean, hell, he might lose it next week on Raw, who knows? But by Rollins doing what he's doing with the Intercontinental Championship, I compare it almost to the ECW TV title and RVD. We're like, hey, at least in terms of quality, they're neck and neck. Maybe even the Intercontinental belt will be here, so who knows what's going to happen.
So Seth's kind of forfeited after having a horrible injury?
I hope not. Especially with Seth's past, so let's not...
I kid.
Let's not jinx things.
Knock on wood.
There we go. But yeah, that's pretty much all of Raw right there. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a bad episode of Raw, and some good stuff happened. It's just, maybe this is, I know we're not writing, maybe this is the proverbial writer's block of the show, but I just don't really know what to talk about with it.
Well, just move on to SmackDown, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, then we will move on to SmackDown. To start with the
Infinity
SmackDown.
spoilers. No, okay, we're not doing that.
Not doing that? Well, we're starting with SmackDown here. Infinity spoilers, that was for the... That's for the YouTube version of this. I don't know how much of this is getting edited out in post, so You know, you might even be seeing this on YouTube as well, on the YouTube version. So go. Also, when I know live I was doing the shilling, but you know, if you like this video on YouTube, please share it and give it a like and post some comments and let your voice be heard in the comment section below. Also to you Facebook people, there's a whole nobody watching us right now. So, but if you're there, keep the discussion going. Yes. Any hoozles. SmackDown. And, well, we had a pretty damn good episode of SmackDown, I think. Men's Money in the Bank qualifying all around. We had The Miz defeat Jeff Hardy. The theme with both qualifying matches on SmackDown, in my opinion, was upsets. Because The Miz defeated Jeff Hardy, and while you could say, like, that's not too much of an upset. I mean, Jeff is the United States champion, and The Miz probably does need something to do on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You kind of think
they're in similar standing in the card, probably.
That, and you would also think, hey, Jeff Hardy, ladders, tall things to jump off of, swantons, yes! But they're apparently not going to go with that, at least not this year at Money in the Bank. But then the bigger, good match, just say that, not really. Both men have had better, but, it was a really, really good match. But the big talking point coming out of this one, this is the one where I said this is maybe the one thing we could maybe really talk about, and that is Rusev defeats Daniel Bryan to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. And this is like something that for a lot of fans, it was kind of the I wanted this, but not like this kind of moment. Because people want Rusev to be used, and I'm with them. But
at the expense
of Daniel Bryan, it's kind of like, well, what did we want more? And I'd like to think by now all my pessimism about Daniel Bryan. I'd like to tell you now that all the pessimism about Daniel Bryan in the WWE that I felt since I heard he signed back in 2009 is gone. But that would be a lie. Because his run was just always just so up and down and up and down and up and down. I can't help but feel a sense of like, oh, what's going on? Anytime something happens with Daniel Bryan. And while I'd like to think that they have something for him and he may not be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, First of all, on one hand, like, I'm kind of happy he's not going to be taking bumps off ladders. Or falling off ladders, not use any terms, I don't really know how much of an insider term a bump is now, but,
You hit the floor at bumps.
Yeah.
So it's fair.
There you go. Fair game. I didn't betray my rule this time. So, like, in that sense, I'm happy, or relieved, I guess I should say. But on the flip side, it's kind of like, what are they going to do with him? All these other wrestling shows here on YouTube have said, like, Daniel Bryan just feels like he's a guy now. He's not anything special. And then, you hear the comments at the end of the match, like, is this the end of the Yes Man? Is Daniel Bryan's Cinderella run over? And it's just like, don't tell me you're making him out to be, like, nothing now, And that's just, I can't help but be a bit concerned about that because... Thud, yeah. I mean, look at his, let's just go over his entire WWE run. They bring him in as a rookie on the old NXT to where, he's like on a major... Hello to Katie on Facebook right now. We're also, for those just watching this on YouTube, we're also live on Facebook, so we're interacting on there. But, starts out on the new NXT that they're experimenting with, doesn't win a match. Finally wins a match against The Miz, is part of the Nexus angle, fired. Or Nexus storyline, I guess I should say, fired. Then he's, comes back, wins the United States title, bumped off the WrestleMania card. Wins Money in the Bank, they do nothing with him. Cashes in, wins the World Heavyweight Championship, loses in 18 seconds. you know, and then you're kind of like, up, it's building, hurt, you know.
And then that happened like twice. And
yeah, then comes back, Royal Rumble, gonna do it, eliminated. You know, up, Intercontinental Champion, hurt, retired. Oh, he's back, now this. So it's just a matter of... I can't help but have the feeling of... Are they going to... Is he just going to be a guy? Is he going to be, you know... I mean, I know on an episode with me and when Nick was in here, you know, he disagreed with me, and he had every right to, but... We just... Is he just going to be the gatekeeper of SmackDown, you know, where, hey, you're just going to wrestle him and that's it? Or I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure in a way he's happy to be there. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's so much that, you know, which I guess it doesn't really matter what he's okay with. He's under contract, so he's going to do whatever they tell him to. So,
you'd think with a comeback star like this, is this the best they can come up with? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm happy for Rusev. And you know, in a week's time, he could be in such a great storyline. He could be getting ready to wrestle whoever. Mm-hmm. And it'd be a good storyline. I'd be like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe at least he's not taking falls off of ladders and he's in this. But on the flip side of things, it's just a matter of this is the bet. I don't know. It's one of those. I won't go to the ledge right now because they have a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. But you know, not gonna go to the ledge. I'm not gonna stay there and look over it. But you know, I'm kind of in the back of my mind. I kind of want to know where the ledge is in case it's time. You know, at least in terms of Daniel Bryan. Mm. But still, I guess, you know, trying to look at the glass half full. Rusev Day for Money in the Bank.
And Charlotte was the female qualifier against Peyton Royce.
Yes. So, man, really, you could do a nice storyline there. You know, Charlotte getting Money in the Bank, and then kind of, you know, a fully challenging Carmella. You know, the opposite of, you know, way she did. You know, they got a lot to do there. But we'll be able to give better in-depth discussion about Money in the Bank once all the qualifiers are in there. So it's kind of new there. But I did want to point out that Xavier Woods and Cesaro had an amazing match on SmackDown. Xavier Woods, I think he's an underrated talent. I think he's the most... Of everybody in the New Day, he doesn't get a lot of credit, and... That's a shame because he's got a lot of talent. Mm. And I think that really got to show in this match with Cesaro. And then, of course, Cesaro should be a main eventer. Mm. No questions about that. So, yeah, that's just kind of... Like I said, with... it wasn't so much that nothing that happened this week was important. It's just more so a matter of...
Maybe it's just kind of...
What do you talk about with it? It happened. Other than the Daniel Bryan stuff and the Seth Rollins...
Maybe not a lot for speculation. Just kind of... It's just a transition of what you're getting from point A to point B.
Right. You know, now, here in a few weeks' time, you know, we might be back here and I might be saying, like, well, what the hell? We got this, that, and this and that. But right now, it's just kind of like, you're more so, you know, it's kind of like more just about reporting the news rather than, you know, talking points for the news. But, you know, we'll see what happens in the future, you know. Hopefully next week when we're sitting in these chairs, we got a little bit more to work with. But, you know, still though, if you haven't seen the Seth Rollins match with Mojo Rawley, the Xavier Woods and Cesaro match, and then even the Charlotte Peyton Royce and the Daniel Bryan Rusev match, go out of your way to see them. And I'm not slighting Jeff Hardy and The Miz. That was also a pretty damn good match too. Go out of your way to watch those this week. It was good wrestling, but it's kind of like sometimes when wrestling's really good, all you can just say is go watch it. You can't really just go out and go like, whoa, there's no talking points to it, then just go watch it. It's a good match. Yeah, that's pretty much it for SmackDown. So we'll be back with some, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll be back here in a few with some Backlash thoughts. So we got Backlash talk now, and I know JC here has yet to see Backlash, and I'll just say it, you're not really missing a whole hell of a lot. I mean, that may seem harsh, but it's just like, this was the definition of a skippable pay-per-view, my opinion. It felt like, to me, like this was 1995, 1996, and this was just an in-your-house that had nothing to talk about. It was an in-your-house that needed to get from one month to another, and oh shit, there's a pay-per-view. Like that's how I felt about Backlash. It could have been better, but it wasn't. There was just a whole lot of who cares when it came to that. And that's not saying the matches were bad, it's just nothing came out of them. You know, I mean, just, you would think with the AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match that, you know, when AJ finally, you know, got that, you know, low blow in on Shinsuke, like that would have been like a big moment in a, like kind of a, put kind of at least a little bit of a stopping point on their, you know, issue for now. But instead, they just did like a double low blow and they both got counted out. And I'm like, what? I mean, you know, there might be a few people that watch this, you know, that gets this reference, but I know JC does. You know, you just find yourself going, what? Those that get it. But anyway.
I don't know if I got it.
Former teacher of ours.
Oh, okay.
Former high school teacher of ours would just always kind of do that when things didn't make sense in class.
Yeah.
It's not so much that it's like a regular look, but just like that was when you got that look, you knew we were like really perplexing our teacher. So there might be like 4 or 5 people that watch these videos that get that, but those 4 or 5 people will kind of go, yeah. So shout out to them if they watch. And for the rest of you that don't get it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you did not go to high school with me and JC. But anyway, it's like, so that's it. I mean, they're going to have another match, which I'm not going to complain about Shinsuke and AJ. I mean, their matches have been better since WrestleMania, but still it's just kind of like, that's you know, and then, you know, it was time filler. And then, you know, I already saw what was essentially time filler the week before with the Greatest Royal Rumble. Now, granted, the Greatest Royal Rumble, I had to keep telling myself, you know, hey, this is just kind of like, it is a house show. It's a glorified house show. It's like, I made the comparison last week, it's like the Insurrection pay-per-views. You'd see the videotape or DVD as a kid and be like, hey, that's a lot of good matches. And then you'd watch it and be like, oh, nothing happened. You know? But
are you implying that the Big Show being Shokishi more than once, like at, you know, when you got to see him in the UK, was not worth buying? You stand corrected. That's right. What you said.
I mean, there was that one, like the Bulldog did win the hardcore title at one. You know, there just like that. There was a title change. You know, kind of make it. You know, hey, it's not just nothing, but you know, world title didn't switch hands. Nothing like that happened. So it is what it is, and I'm hoping that with Money in the Bank, you know, kind of, since they got rid of King of the Ring, kind of making the climb into that, you know, next biggest slot, you know, up there. As far as importance, you know, you have Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Maybe this one will be better. I'm hoping it's better. And I'm hoping that there's actually something here like worth noting other than just, hey, some stuff happened. You know, but hey, I mean, it's just kind of, you don't want to call it a post-WrestleMania hangover, but it feels like it, you know? And there's a lot of stuff with potential. There's a lot of stuff that could be good going forward. I'm not going to be completely pessimistic, as weird as that is for a guy like me. But that pay-per-view is just kind of there, and then you had some good Raw and SmackDown, just not a lot of talking points, and you know what? Hopefully we'll be back here closer to Money in the Bank with a lot more to say. On another interesting note before we sign off for the week, CM Punk is going to be doing an appearance as part of All In Weekend in Chicago at Pro Wrestling Tees, and that's just going to further fuel rumor, innuendo, and speculation that maybe he will be part of All In. So I feel like if he is, those 10,000 seats are coming. So yeah. As far as the YouTube broadcast is concerned, we're going to sign off on this one. That is JC. Go like his Facebook page at the Deluxe Asterisk for some look at some pretty neat art. I am the Athletic Geek. If you're watching this on YouTube, go like the Facebook page at facebook.com/athleticgeek89 for more content on all things geek culture. But pretty much anything else you want to add?
No. Infinity spoilers?
Infinity spoilers, yes.
Yeah.
No. But anyway, that is JC. I am the Athletic Geek. We are just two marks. Out.